through storms, unshaken, unbowed. From trials and verdicts, still standing proud. A titan in the tempest, against the raging crowd. He's got a vision for the future, gonna shout it loud. Changing the wind, it's coming fast. A new foundation built to last. Cryptocurrency's the key, make the big switch. Power to the people, time to teach the rich. Legal battles can't hold him, he's moving on. With plans so bold, from dusk till dawn. He's rewriting the rules, a new dawn's day. From the hands of the few to the people's way. Say goodbye to all chains, embrace the new. A financial revolution, fair and true. For the workers, the dreamers, side by side. In Trump's new era, let freedom rise. Changing the wind, it's coming fast. A new foundation built to last. Cryptocurrency's the key, make the big switch. Power to the people, time to ditch the rich.
Welcome, everyone, to the Crazy Kryptonite. I am Zester, and I hope you're having a wonderful Trump day. I hope everyone is having a great one. I know that things are going pretty darn well on my side. All things considered, with the storm, we got extremely lucky. And so the rain is just now finally fading away. And it looks like we have nothing more to worry about. Now, I do know that certain parts of the island of Puerto Rico have experienced far worse conditions than we have on our side. And so definitely a lot of folks that are out there on the island that could be using the prayers. We got extremely lucky. We're on the west, more of the northwest side of the island. And so we really did not end up experiencing anything more than about 4 inches of rain. And I mean, it was a bit windy. In all honesty, it was a great night for awesome sleep. And it was definitely the kind of weather that you wake up to in the morning and you go, let's go ahead and hit the snooze button on that alarm clock. Otherwise, it was a breeze over here, but definitely a lot of folks on the island. And I think a lot of those reports are still coming in that the situation was not the same. And that's folks that were on the East Coast or were on the other islands of Puerto Rico, like Vieques and Culebra, which are out to the east of the island of Puerto Rico. And they ended up getting hit very much, not directly, but pretty close to directly by what was at that point in time a severe tropical storm. And so keep all those folks in mind. We're fine, though. No worries over here. The kiddies didn't even get upset about it. I mean, Tina and Tino didn't even notice that something was going on outside. What is up, though? Mile High Trish. Happy Trump Day, my crazy kryptonite friends. Thank you so much, Trish. And absolutely, happy Trump Day. And howdy, Kukla. I'm glad that you were able to jump in here today. I know it was a bit of a surprise because on Monday wasn't thinking, and also on Tuesday wasn't thinking it was going to be an option. But thank you so much for jumping in and for everything you do. What is up, Gary? And number 2 on the like button. Thank you so much, Gary. And Gary, I read this as I was sitting there getting ready and getting everything finished up, dotting all my T's and crossing all my I's. And I immediately had to go back and look at the title, and I was like, did I accidentally write smelling? So, Gary, you got me, because I had to go back and check and go, wait a second, did I write that Biden is smelling Trump's strategic Bitcoin reserve? That does not in any way sound surprising to buy, and coming from in regards to Biden, but I doubt it would have been Trump. Any ladies out there with nice smelling hair, I would watch out if we were around creepy Biden. But Thank you so much, Gary, for being here and for your jokes. You definitely got me today. You got me. All right, though. Let's roll through the hellos and everything, guys, because we do. We had some breaking news. That was the reason that I was like, we got to go for it. I know most people probably weren't expecting the stream this evening, so we're probably not going to have tons of people show up. But this news is important enough that it really needs to be out there. And so I'm going to get through all of our hellos, and then I'm going to jump over to that information so that everyone is aware of what is going on and what the Biden administration is up to at the moment. Oh, Kukla, though, big day tomorrow. It's Panos' birthday. He wants pizza and cake. LOL. Well, absolutely, Kukla. Wish Panos a happy birthday from Zester and from the Crazy Kryptonite family. And also, definitely, I think Panos deserves a pizza and some cake tomorrow. So I hope y'all have an absolutely amazing, amazing birthday. What's up, Linda? And howdy, Marlene Presser. Zester, happy hump day. Thank you for being you. Oh, I appreciate it, Marlene. I appreciate it. I tell you now, I try to be other people, but it just doesn't work out. Am who I am, for better or worse. Thank you so much for joining, though, Marlene. And what's up? Donna, evening all. And Linda, absolutely. That is a story that is far too common in Biden's America. And that is why everything going on right now in terms of politics is so important. Because unfortunately, this is not something that's going to get solved without some really, really big changes going on. We've dug one heck of an impressive hole. And when I say we, I really mean our government and our elites. They have dug us a massive hole, and it's going to take a lot to get us out of it. But Linda, I think everything is going in the right direction. And so I know that it will be in my thoughts, and I know that it is definitely not something that is in any way unique to one condition or one person. Unfortunately, that is the story everywhere, and not just the United States, but also around the world right now. There are very few bright spots in regards to the economic situation that's been caused by all of these crazy globalists. And so absolutely we'll be keeping you in the thoughts, Linda, and I'm looking to November for things to start to change, in a big way. What's up, Hot Rod, Tilly? Hey, fam. Hope you're having a good one, Hot Rod. And also, awesome profile pic there, Hot Rod. I really like that one. What's up, David? Thank you so much for the apple and for being here. And welcome, Captain Spiffy and Crypto Kenny. How are you doing today? And LS. Oh, thank you guys. And LG. And yep, Captain Spiffy, changing the wind. I've got to get a video of just that song out there for everyone. It's constantly on the list, and it always manages to find a way to not get accomplished each day. I've got to get that one done. Welcome, Crazy Chester and Belinda D. Texas with a Trump Day celebration. Absolutely. Oh, and Expialidocious coming in from the UK across the pond. Thank you so much for joining us. And man, the UK and the US, I don't know which one. Right? The UK, US, Australia. I don't know which one of us, or Canada. Man. I don't even know who's winning the award for having the craziest politics at the moment, but I think that we all need to quit competing for it, because it seems like with the Olympics going on that all of the Western countries are, well, we're attempting to compete for our own gold medals and flat out craziness. And so I hope you are staying safe over there and in the UK, and that everything is going well for you. And that a lot of the craziness we see on the news, I hope, is not affecting you in your daily life. But thank you so much for joining. Welcome, Mary Jones and Ian Houston. And absolutely, thank you, Kukla, for including this. Keep in mind, guys, that everything on the Crazy Kryptonite channel, or anything that I, Zester, say, it is for general and educational purposes, and should not be viewed as professional advice. Please consult with a financial, legal, spiritual, etc. professional before making any major decisions with your life. I'm a guy that's coming to you through the internet screens. I'm trying to help give people that basic knowledge and point folks in the right direction so that they can learn more and so that they can live a more independent, financial future. And so please keep that in consideration. And I hope though that everything that we do learn and share here does put people on the path to becoming the professionals in their own futures regarding their finances, because that's the world we're moving towards. In the future, we have to become very comfortable having self custody of our own wealth, and not just self custody of our wealth, but self custody of our ownership over the very idea of everything being ours once again. Whether that's the deed to our house, the title to our car, whether that's our bank accounts, our investments, we're moving towards a world where we're going to have the ability to own all of them. And that means we've got to be ready. Anna Stonebag, Zester, you are a wealth of information just like your dad. Thank you so much, Anna, for that. And we have some interesting conversations. Me and Pops definitely have some interesting conversations. Welcome, Golden Years, and Michelle Newth and Bindi 36 saying hello, Zester. Glad you and your dad are okay. As did Michelle. So grateful for you and your dad. Thank you guys so much for the thoughts and for being here and for appreciating the work that goes into making these things happen. It's a lot. There's a lot in the background. There's a lot in the background to get ready and be prepared each day. And we love doing it. We love doing it. And I know that Pops does it because of how much it matters to the community. And that has made it a really more of a, it's not even like it's just something he does every day. It's a passion. It's his everything. And it is all because of the love and appreciation that comes from everyone in the community. And Gary, where is the cat box behind me? Well, I don't know why, but Tino decided to run away with the box and stuff it under a chair. I don't know if that was Tino's way of saying he was tired of Tina taking his spot, or if he was just having fun, And yes, expialidocious Trump Day. It's a bit of a joke going on, but I think it could catch on. All right, LG ladies, Esther, have you seen the movie Beekeeper? Today, my hubby got a call just like that. Fraud. It's so easy to get sucked into that. He is aware and still took the call. I got home and shut it down. LG lady, I am glad that you were there. And yes, it is absolutely crazy how much it is occurring right now. And it is something where everyone is struggling all over the world financially. It's not just in the United States. And we have got these massive leaks, massive amounts of information. It makes a lot of sense that a lot of people are turning to what they feel is necessary in order to take care of themselves. The best way to get people to start changing and really getting a little funny business going on with their morality is to really test their sense of security. And so, LG lady, we've got to be on our toes. We've got to do what's necessary to keep ourselves safe. And we've got to be extra careful when it comes down to the things that we're doing online, especially as people that are on the conservative end and are watching and viewing content that is towards the right. We are being directly targeted. And so when we go out there, we like I'm doing, make content, or people view the content that's being made from any different conservative style podcaster, especially when it comes to someone who talks about cryptocurrency or talks about finances, or really talks about anything that's considered to be, from the mainstream media's point of view, to be a little bit too far to the right. That is a community that's targeted. And so I'm glad that you were there, LG lady, and I hope that everyone is being very cautious and careful and is telling people in their lives what's going on. Because I know when I talked about just yesterday, when I talked about it, there were a lot of people that had no idea that 2.9 billion people had just lost all of their personal information. That's not the type of articles that the media likes to cover in many cases. That's the thing. Those are the type of things where a lot of people are going on with their lives and they just have no idea. And then when it's a year, 2 years later, and they go, hey, I need to go get my credit checked before I, say start buying a house or go into a new lease agreement on my car. And then they find out, well, their identity had been stolen years ago and their credit is shot. And now it's going to take who knows how long and who knows how much money to get things fixed. So definitely, everyone be very careful out there right now. I know from just the video yesterday, I have been getting, and I haven't gotten a chance with the weather and everything to really go through a lot of the responses, but there were a ton of different scenarios and situations that people are in throughout the community. This is not something that is happening in a microcosm. It is a substantial portion of the entire country. I would absolutely say that we are very, very close to the point where it's going to become one of those things where if people are standing in a crowd, either you will have had your identity stolen, or if you look to the left or look to the right, somebody on either side will have had their identity stolen. It's on the rise. And unfortunately, until we change up how the system works or until our government starts to hold these criminals accountable, well, it's probably going to just keep getting worse. What's up? Just relax. I like the name. I need more of that in my life. Ellen Hickey's. Esther, do you have an ultra beginner crypto video? I have a big education in the markets for many years now, but this is very different. I need a foundation. Ellen Hickey, that actually is something where I do have some options in that regard. And so for those that are curious in regards to going through and checking on what's on the Crazy Kryptonaut channel, and being able to really see it right off the bat, what you would want to do is you would just want to come to here, and something that you can go through and do in order to make it a bit easier is you can actually go through and you can go through videos. And as you scroll down, these are going to be the oldest videos. And so we can see that my oldest video is 5 months ago. Time goes pretty quickly. And you'll be able to see on the lives that we have far more of those, but it's the same idea. And so what I would suggest is a lot of these beginning videos. And so if you came over, clicked on the Crazy Kryptonaut channel, went to live, you can even click on the oldest, in which case it's going to sort all of them up at the top. And now you can just go through and you can see some of the beginning videos, and what these were very much just the basics. And so, Ellen, that is where I would suggest going and starting, would be with some of these beginning ones. Now, I would say it is going to take a bit of time, Ellen. But I would absolutely, and I can say this with 100% the utmost sincerity, because I know that people in this community can attest to the fact that it seems extremely scary at first, and that for the beginning, it seems like it's not coming together. Once that foundation is built, though, like you mentioned, Ellen, it is extremely easy to build upon that foundation. And so those would be some options to be able to check out. Also, Ellen, inside of my Discord, there is also, and this is the Discord for the Crazy Kryptonaut, there is also a education tab. And in this education tab, you will have a lot of different options. And so this would be over here in Discord, in education, and you'll have a bunch of different terms and their explanations. And so these are particularly helpful to be able to get a little bit of an idea of what's going on. I also included things to check out in order to avoid crypto scams in that same little area. And so, Ellen, super glad to have you with us, and do not worry, you are going to be a crypto pro in no time. All right, though, let's Expialidocious, when is Biden going to get removed? That's a great question. I wish well, in all honesty, I don't even think at this point I really wish for it. I'm ready for the absolute tsunami of Republican wins in November. I'm ready to watch them have to really come to grips with the fact that there were and that there was cheating in 2020, and that the Trump supporters are the majority, and that logic and common sense and a brighter future are something that Americans are capable of getting together and actually making happen. And so I'm looking forward to watching in November when Republicans win not only the presidency, but the Senate and the House. And we're going to do that no matter how hard they try to cheat, because I believe this year they're going to get 100% stopped in their tracks. We've got Elon Musk spending absolute insane amounts of millions of dollars hiring attorneys to be at every single voting area. We have got so many different watch groups that are going to be going through and double checking the mail-in ballots. I am looking forward to being able to watch a lot of videos of very, very sad liberals crying somewhere after the first week of November, or actually at the very end of the first week of November. I am very much looking forward to that one, Expialidocious. Happy Trump Day, musical lady. And all right, guys, just looked at the time. I am going to go ahead and jump to the news, because we do have some very, very interesting things going on. Of course, as always, guys, we're going to do our first check, and we're just going to see what the markets are looking like at the moment. And so we are on over the hour, slightly down. Bitcoin has been sitting around 60K now for a quick minute, and does not seem to want to make a decision in regards to the whole ordeal. We are down 3.2% in 24 hours. XRP, after the big boom, extremely quick 25% gains, it is pairing off those gains that it acquired from the announcement in regards to the SEC court case. Again, XRP is, well, no matter how you look at it, I would swear XRP should go ahead and reclassify itself as a stable coin, because when you look over a year's period, I mean, we pretty much cannot get away from 50 to 60 cents. I mean, it's like we're locked in. It's like we're locked in. But there is some information to share about that one as well today. And so the big news, the title of our stream today: $600 million in Bitcoin seized by the U.S. government from the Silk Road is allegedly being moved. This was announced just today. It's because people were watching the blockchain. Remember when I tell folks this new system is going to hold governments, it's going to hold corporations accountable. Blockchain technology is the reason that we know that the current administration is trying to dump the strategic Bitcoin reserve that Trump plans on putting into place when he is elected into office. And so the United States had somewhere around 210 to 230,000 Bitcoin, worth well over $12 billion, depending on whatever the price of Bitcoin is at that exact moment. And that was when Donald Trump made the announcement just 2 weeks ago or so that we were going to never sell Bitcoin as the United States government ever again, because the cardinal rule of Bitcoin was that you don't sell Bitcoin, and that we were going to create a strategic national reserve, placing Bitcoin on the same level as oil or steel or gold or silver or so many others that are considered to be absolutely important to not just the citizens, but to literally the security of our nation. Right after Trump made that announcement, it was not 3 days later that the Biden administration began to move Bitcoin in order to liquidate it, liquidating the Bitcoin before Donald Trump can get into office. And so the United States government shifted roughly 10,000 Bitcoin to a wallet address ending in the letters NOE on August 14th, 2024 at 15:38 UTC, according to data from Arkham Intelligence. Now, according to the on-chain analytics firm, this would be around $593.91 million. That is our money. That's our money. That's your and I's money that right now has been moved to a wallet that is unknown. An unknown wallet currently holds $593.91 million of our money. And this marks the latest high-profile transfer of the United States government's Bitcoin holdings, with the previous transfer of 29,800 Bitcoin valued at nearly $2 billion having been sent from U.S. government wallets to an unknown address on July 29th. This money is going to different addresses. And so since Trump's announcement, 39,800 Bitcoin valued at over $2.5 billion of United States dollars, our money, has been moving to wallets that have no known purpose. And so the current administration is maybe they plan on liquidating all of it before Trump can get into office, or they plan on trying to steal it. It's one of the two, and I guess both of them are effectively the same exact thing. But ultimately, they are moving off to wallets that we do not know who controls. The United States currently holds roughly 203,000 BTC, valued at approximately $12 billion at the time of this writing. The United States government is the largest geopolitical holder of Bitcoin. And it goes into the article here talking about how Trump promised during the Bitcoin 2024 conference in Nashville. Now, I would point out to those that are curious, July 29th was the date that the first move of $2 billion occurred. The Bitcoin conference in Nashville was the weekend before that. I believe it was the 26th, 27th that Donald Trump made that announcement. And so in just a matter of a little over 2 weeks, the current administration has, without warning, without any form of notification to anyone in any form or any kind, I think I used form twice there in my bit of an angry rant, I suppose, that I'm on. And they have managed to move over $2.5 billion of our money into different wallets since then. And so it would seem a hell of a lot like our current administration is either stealing this money or is trying to liquidate it in order to ensure that Donald Trump is not capable of forming the strategic Bitcoin stockpile when he managed to secure the presidency. And Rocker Mom 117, when Trump said that was the first thing I wondered, if they could sell it. Rocker Mom, they are not supposed to be able to just do this. But it seems as if this is really more than just one thing they're trying to accomplish. And so when they do this, what it results in, really in the most direct fashion, is it immediately results in the fact that the vast majority of other investors are going to start selling because they're afraid that the government is going to start dumping massive amounts of that Bitcoin, and it's going to make the price of Bitcoin drop precipitously. And so with Trump coming in and fully backing cryptocurrency, really becoming the first crypto president in the United States history, and the first crypto president or leader in any major global power. I mean, absolutely the first of any major global power around the world, is they are now, by offloading this money and by moving it around, they're capable of creating fear in the markets, holding down the price of cryptocurrencies, and they're also capable of then selling it in order to go ahead and get it out of Trump's hands when he does take the reins back. And so this is one thing where they're capable of harming Trump's image. They're capable of harming the crypto community. And they also have the ability to harm our futures in a really, really big way. A really, really big way. So earlier in July 2024, crypto markets responded negatively to news of the German government selling its Bitcoin holdings as fear, uncertainty, and doubt, FUD, gripped investors. The German government ended up selling 50,000 Bitcoin, valued at roughly $2.9 billion at the time. And the German government currently holds 0.007 BTC, according to data from Arkham Intelligence. And so the German government in July managed to liquidate essentially all of their Bitcoin holdings. And what it seems like is being done is that the United States government, or the United States administration, is planning on following through with that same game plan before Donald Trump is capable of getting into office. Now, many people like to also laugh. The German government deciding to sell on July 13th resulted in it losing $124 million in profit if it had just waited to sell a little bit longer. And that's why there is such the cardinal rule, and it really is. You do not sell Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not bought to be sold. In the same way that for the vast majority of people out there that are gold and silver investors, to any gold and silver investors out there, unless you have absolutely needed the money, and I mean no other option, have you ever sold your gold or silver? Unless, and I hope that for many the situation hasn't occurred, but I know for me that cryptocurrency, gold, silver, these are not something that I ever even consider selling. These are things that are saved for the future. They're saved for a rainy day. You don't sell them. And it, to me, is absolute insanity. And it's really, really the current administration and the SEC showing their true colors right now, in the fact that they are bought and paid for, and they are obviously terrified of the idea of Trump coming into office with any extra financial tools. And so it seems as if they're trying to sell one out from under him before the election if they keep up at the current rate. So just doing a little quick math here. It's been little over 2 weeks. It is currently halfway through August. We still have all of September, all of October, and then, the 5 days. We have 2 months and we'll say 20 days until we are going to be able to slow this down. And even then, he's going to have until January to keep messing things up. And so if the current administration keeps up at this rate, we had over 12 billion. We now have about 9.5 billion. And that only took, we'll say 20 days. We'll give a little leeway on either side. And so if they keep up at the same rate, there will not be any Bitcoin left held by the United States government when Donald Trump actually takes back over. And so I think that's something that should be getting they should be getting roasted in the mainstream media for doing this. I mean, that is such petty bullshit. And it is absolutely at the detriment of the American people. And so for the current administration, for those in power to be doing this right after Donald Trump made that announcement, that is market manipulation. That is a federal crime, and it is being perpetrated by the very people that are supposed to hold people accountable for manipulating markets. It's market manipulation. It is plain and simple. It occurred immediately after Donald Trump's announcement. It had never been planned. There was nothing said. In all previous times that the U.S. government has gone out and sold Bitcoin that it has held, it has made announcements ahead of time. It has been planned. Because if you plan it, that's the only way to get out of the argument that it's market manipulation. If you're going to make a big move and things are going to happen and they're going to affect markets, you have to make that public information ahead of time. You are not allowed to just come out of nowhere and be like, guess what, everybody? And it massively changed the market. Think of all the court cases Elon Musk has been in when it comes to Tesla and it comes to its stocks, from him just making comments and making announcements. The U.S. government, this administration, is currently doing far, far worse than anything Elon Musk ever did. They are selling out our future, and they are absolutely manipulating markets, and it's also absolutely manipulating politics, or an attempt to manipulate the political system. I'm not worried about Russia interfering in our damn election. I'm worried about our current government or Europe or China. Our enemies are already in the house. We are sitting out here and we're turning on the alarm system to try and keep people out of the house when they're already inside. They're in the kitchen fixing themselves a peanut butter and jelly with our peanut butter and our jelly. And so absolutely infuriating. This is just another one. This occurred today. And so another $600 million of your and I's money is now going somewhere. And now what I would say here, and what I think is a very important little point to make, is that this is the reason that we know so much. Is because when we look on the blockchain explorer, and I take this wallet address, so I just copied this wallet address. This is where the United States government today moved 10,000 Bitcoin. They moved it to this wallet address. When I come over to the blockchain explorer and I put that wallet address in, I should then be able to come in and see what happened. And so this address, since this morning, since just when this article was written, received 10,000 Bitcoin and then sent the 10,000 Bitcoin to another wallet. I am now capable of going in and tracking where that went to. And so I know now that the Bitcoin it came to this wallet, and then it went today, 11:38, it went to this wallet. And then from this wallet, it actually ended up, oh, there is no way they did that. It ended up going and being split to two different wallets. And so now the administration has separated these wallets, and this wallet ending in F58 received $33.5 million. This wallet, which guess what, is designed to sell, received the rest. And so that is the reason that this is such a big difference. This is the reason that I say this is a world where we're going to be able to hold people accountable, because all I needed was this wallet address. I took it. I now saw that it received the money. I can see when it received the money. I can then go and I can see where it sent the money. I can then see where that one sent the money. So this is the reason that the blockchain is going to stop so many of these different crimes that are going on in the world. Think about the very idea of bank fraud. You know, we talked about it yesterday. We talked about identity theft and protection following the massive data hacks. And we talked about the fact that, well, I mean, you know, how do you stop it? We live in a world where how do you stop it? This is how you stop it. This is how you stop it. I almost cursed with a word I really would have been owing money to the curse jar there for. But this is how you stop it. It's that easy. We don't need anyone to invent anything new. We already have it. We already have the answer. We can stop all this crime. We can stop all of these different things. We can end election fraud. We already have the technology. It's not like we need to go out there and figure out how to land on the moon. You know, this is not some kind of situation like that where we're going to need to spend tons and tons of money, spend years developing it, trust the scientists, all these other things just to make it happen. We already have the technology. We could end the fraud around your social security number. We could end it. We have the technology. They just don't want to do it. We could end the fraud where people steal money from your bank account. We could end it. We could end the fraud in regards to our election. We already have the ability. All of these different woes that our world is suffering from, we do not have to wait. We have it. This is not a Manhattan Project. We do not need to get the best minds from around the world together and trap them all in a room and feed them caffeine and whatever else to make them get the right idea. We already have it figured out. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating to hear all the things that is currently going on in this world, and for us to be sitting here with all the answers and just, they don't want to fix it. They don't want to fix it. If they fixed it, what would they run for their next election on? I mean, why would we need them anymore? In so many cases, we could downsize our government in extreme ways by making this shift. And so our government has a vested interest in making certain that it never happens. Our government always protects itself. We still have a rural electrification committee in the United States of America. we form and still have a bureaucracy, an entire branch of the United States government that is absolutely in regards to rural electrification. Do you know many places inside of the United States that do not have access to an electrical grid? Not many, not many. And we darn sure do not need a giant federal company for it. And now, yes, they will claim that, oh, well, we make them do other things, but come on. Come on, government. Come on. All right. I need to go to another article. All right. An interesting one, in my opinion. Now that I've gotten off of my soapbox, MetaMask starts rollout of a blockchain-based debit card developed with MasterCard and banks. The new offering will allow MetaMask users to purchase directly from their self-custodial crypto wallet. And so these are just more and more of the different innovations and applications that are being figured out and that blockchain technology is being used for. In this case, it's the ability to be able to sit there, have your cryptocurrency sitting inside of your blockchain style wallet, but also be able to access it with your debit card when you go to make a purchase. Pretty big companies in regards to MasterCard. This is going to be in a pilot phase. And so the MetaMask card is first available in a pilot phase to a few thousand users in the EU and UK. So we're not even allowed to have it, with a wider release expected later this year. And so, just an interesting one. I would expect this to become something that you see more and more. Keep in mind, this is very similar to companies like Coinbase that have offered up their card. This is very similar to crypto.com, which I forget which major credit card company they're working with in order for them to get out a debit or credit card that's connected to their blockchain wallets. And also Visa has partnered with Circle's USDC coin and Solana network in order to speed up cross-border payments. Just another announcement from another major company that is going and moving towards a blockchain-based business. All right, though. This is a fun one. This is the biggest spend on a smaller race. So outside of something like, the presidency, or outside of a really big name politician that you can see a lot of people that really dislike this. In this case, not many people are all that aware of Senator Brown from Ohio, but the Super PAC Fair Shake is going to commit $12 million to his Senate race in order to make certain that he does not get elected, in order to dethrone Senator Brown in Ohio. $12 million being spent to take out just one guy. And so, in this case, a lot of these different Senate races do not have, these are not raising the kind of money that you expect in a presidential race. $12 million being thrown against you in any size state, in any Senate race, is a huge amount of money. This is a massive, massive amount of money being thrown against him. And so they're targeting $12 million in Ohio airtime to push for Republican candidate Bernie Moreno, a blockchain businessman. And they're devoting about $3 million each to advocate for U.S. Republican Ruben Gallego, and in the Arizona Senate race, and Republican Representative Elisa Slotkin in her Senate race in Michigan. And the two big things right here, because these are the first ones of this election season. These are the first two Democrats that a crypto super PAC has supported. These are the first two. And so crypto is not staying entirely on just one side. I do want to do a little bit more research into this. I absolutely want to hold this super PAC accountable when it comes down to the different candidates that they're supporting and helping get into office. And I'm not opposed to them supporting both Republicans and Democrats if they're supporting the best candidate for the American people in that specific race. there are races out there where it's not a Republican that's the best option. But I'm going to have to do some research into this one and learn more about it. Thank you, Mile High Trish. Gallego is running against Carrie Lake. Big boo on that one. Thank you. Thank you for that, Trish. I will have to do some research on that one. It was a surprise to me. It was a surprise to me because it has been almost entirely based around Republican candidates. And then to see in essentially one announcement, 2 different Democrats get support from the super PAC, that makes me want to do some research and find out why. Of course, I would say that even that $6 million over the amount of money that has been committed by Fair Shake, that would be somewhere around, I think, maybe 5 to 10% of all the funds having been spent on Democratic candidates. And so the super PAC is still well over, 90+% of all its money is going towards Republican candidates. But I'll have to do some research on it. Thank you for that, Mile High Trish. Thank you very much. And Ray Paley, Carrie Lake will get my vote. Hey, well, let me see. Maybe Carrie Lake made a comment about cryptocurrency at some point, and they're still not over it. I will check on that one. I will check on that one for everybody. All right, though, moving on to something that I think everyone here has probably been hearing about. XRP ETF getting closer with this new major development. And so it seems as if XRP and a lot of different companies are leaking information that an ETF is coming in the very near future. But the point that I think many people probably saw articles, or at the very least, you probably saw a lot on X, you probably saw a lot on different social medias, is there were a lot of folks talking about how Ripple was just in the past couple of weeks has been testing the XRP ledger. That's the blockchain that XRP is the native cryptocurrency of. That is the XRP ledger. In the same way that there is the Ethereum coin, and that is the native currency of the Ethereum blockchain. Same idea. In this case, they just decided to add a different word in there. Potato, potato, tomato, tomato. But there were a lot of very, very viral things going around X that I saw in regards to XRP or Ripple Labs having minted 10 quadrillion stable coins on the XRP ledger in their new RLUSD stable coin, and that they were stress testing the network with 10 quadrillion token transfers. Many people started to run around with a lot of rumors in regards to this. They said the reason that they're testing RLUSD on XRP is because XRP is going to be worth this much money, and that means there's going to be this many dollars in there, and that, if you hold your XRP, it's going to be worth this, or it's going to be worth that. And all of these numbers were very, very large numbers. I saw some guy saying every XRP was going to be worth like millions. In that case, I'm a trillionaire. So if that occurs, I will not complain. And don't worry, dinner's on me. I don't believe that's going to be the case, because that doesn't make sense in any mathematical realm on this planet. But there were a lot of these things going around. And so there was something that made me want to have a conversation, because I saw this everywhere, all over X, all over different emails, forums. I was seeing that XRP was stress testing with trillion-dollar transactions. And they said that this was an indication that the XRP ledger was planning on handling quadrillions of dollars in transactions. Guys, that's a lot of zeros. That is a lot of zeros. And them minting that many, them minting 10 quadrillion RLUSD tokens and then moving them around is no different than them minting one RLUSD token and moving it around. And so when people see those little headlines. Oh, it's because it's going to be 10 quadrillion. You're going to have this much. It's going to need to be capable of making quadrillions of dollars in day, in a single transaction. It's going to need to be capable of doing that. The amount of units, we'll say units, and that unit could be a dollar, it could be a Bitcoin, it could be a unit of Shiba Inu, it could be a unit of XRP. Whenever you're making a transaction on a blockchain, it's not the amount of units in one transaction that matters. It's the amount of transactions in 1 second that matter. And the reason I say this is that there is no significance to them having minted 10 quadrillion and then having sent a 10 quadrillion token transfer. They probably just did that because it's way more fun to test it with a 10 quadrillion big number than it is to test it with a 1. I mean, it's just more fun. Those were just more fun. Just more fun. So, I do believe, and of course, as I said, I am not in any way a financial advisor, and so do not take me, anything more than my opinion. I do hold a lot of XRP. I believe XRP will be worth more in the future. I believe it. I have no doubt, or I wouldn't hold it. I certainly would not hold it if I believed it was going to not be worth a lot more in the future. But we have to stick to the world of reality. We have to stick to reality, and we have to look at things from a logical standpoint. XRP is going to be worth more than it is today. It's not going to ever be worth those crazy numbers. Those numbers don't make sense. I mean, why would we even use numbers that big? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, if we were going to do that, then I'm going to start arguing for a redenomination of currency so that we can get the numbers down, so that we're not wasting our time counting zeros every time we try to write a number down. It's silliness when people start throwing out Googles and all these numbers. We're going to look like Zimbabwe in half a minute if that's the system that we move towards to. We're going to look like, it doesn't make sense. So wanted everyone to be aware of that Ripple is testing the RLUSD stablecoin on the mainnet. They have been testing very large amounts and a lot of transactions. I absolutely think this is great news. According to Ripple Labs, this stablecoin, the RLUSD, will be over collateralized, and it will be backed by USD reserves or short-term cash equivalents in a bank at a ratio of 1-to-1 to the US dollar. To guarantee transparency and accountability, Ripple also promised third-party audits of the underlying cash assets and monthly reports published on the reserves. And so this is great news for Ripple Labs and for the value of XRP going into the future. The stablecoin market is very, very, very profitable for companies. I'm excited that they are at the point where they can test it and they can actually put it on the ledger. And I am very excited because XRP Ripple Labs plans on releasing RLUSD before the end of 2024. I think that is going to result in a large, large increase in the value of my XRP coins. I think that they're going to go up in value. So I'm excited about this, but I definitely want people to be aware of the fact that there are some very, very viral quotes going on out there. I mean, I saw it on X. There were people that had millions and millions of views, tens of thousands of interactions, saying that Ripple Labs had used 10 quadrillion because that's what it's going to be worth. Everybody, I hope so. I hope so. Absolutely. I would not be in any way sad to be a trillionaire. I would be very happy to be a trillionaire. But in all honesty, I don't need that much money. No person needs that much money. And it just doesn't add up, guys. And so I wanted people to be cautious of these things going on. In my mind, that's something that we always need to be aware of. Look at whether the math adds up. Does the math add up? And is there a variable? Is there something that needs to change first for the math to then add up. Because very often that's the case. And that's the world that we live in with a lot of different things right now that really need to be revalued. I mean, when we look at gold, like Cynthia Loomis's plan for our Bitcoin strategic reserve and to revalue the Federal Reserve's gold. The Federal Reserve's valuing our gold at $42.22 per troy ounce. Yeah, we need to do something about that. That's really dumb. That's really, really dumb. Why would we not be collecting a higher interest on our gold at least? Why would we not be doing something with it? We have a huge debt. We should be figuring out every way to save money as a country possible. And for some reason, who knows what we've got? Who knows what the U.S. government has that they just decided to put some kind of arbitrary number upon, and everybody's just been running with it because they haven't let the public know. And so I believe that there are a lot of things that are going to change in terms of their value, and that those things changing make a lot of other scenarios possible, and in many cases, extremely likely. In many cases, I mean, if our world just managed to go back to any form of a resource or gold-backed economy, and I think a resource-backed economy would make far more sense, we're talking about a huge change in value. Those are the type of changes necessary for some of these different numbers to make sense. If the entire world's economy ran on Ripple, maybe Ripple would be worth $300-400. The entire world's economy, maybe it'd be $300 or $400. So just a lot of me rambling today. Let me get through and answer a few questions before I bid everyone adieu, before I say or owe the swear jar any more money. But Bear, thank you so much for joining, and good afternoon, everyone. Guess my note feeling enhanced. Forgot to hit send 45 minutes ago. Some days are difficult in damaged vertebrae. Bear, absolutely will be praying for you. Please be doing anything and everything possible to help with that recovery. I know that you will be receiving a lot of prayers from the community on that, and I know that you'll be in my thoughts, Bear. I hope, though, that beyond that everything in your life is going well. Absolutely. Ray Pelly, as long as it stays above 50 cents, I'm in the plus. I assume you're talking about XRP. Yep. Absolutely. And I'm glad, because that's only when people tend to start getting a little bit foolish, is either when we're too far up or we're too far down. Usually when we're somewhere right around where we started, that's when cool minds prevail. And so, Ray, I'm glad at that entrance point, and I'm really looking forward to the stablecoin release for XRP later this year. I think it is going to be a big boom for all of us. All right. Musical Lady, just those actions alone seem to indicate XRP will be higher than expected, which echoes Mark Z saying RV currencies will fetch higher too. Hey, that to me is what it comes down to, Musical Lady. Those revaluations, that readjustment of value and of what we are putting these numbers on in terms of a lot of the different holdings, a lot of different resources. That's where we start to be able to talk some way bigger numbers. And so I absolutely agree, Musical Lady. I think there is. Yep, Todd. And welcome, Todd. I know Todd's been here, though, before. And so welcome back, man. Thank you so much for joining. And I totally get it, man. Learning through osmosis, that's very often I will do the same thing with certain ones when I have too much work to do. I enjoy having something on in the background, and you still learn. So welcome back, Todd. All right. Mile High Trizester's just on a roll today. Preach it, man. I don't know. I don't know what happened to all the salt. I don't know where all the salt came from today. But thank you, Mile High Trish. Oh man, it is, Todd. It's a dam waiting to burst. It's an amazing thing. We are on the precipice of so much. The only problem is we don't know how long until we go ahead and, if the analogy is in this case a roller coaster, we're sitting very close to the top of the roller coaster, but we don't know when we're going to go ahead and tick over and these major changes are going to start occurring. And I will be joining for the whiskey and wisdom. And yes, musical lady, there was a lot of good news for XRP. I have never even considered selling mine. Not since I did sell mine for $2.80 some cents many years ago. And then I bought right back in. But otherwise, I have never sold XRP but once in my life. And that was during the insane bull run that Ripple had back in, I believe, 2017 or 2018. Yep, Rocker Mom 117. I agree, Zester. This administration has probably already absconded all the gold. That is a great question, and I think that's going to be something we need to be looking into immediately. Kukla, Zester needs a beer. Actually, you know what, guys? Because I do need to get ready, and I am through all of our news today, and I had an awesome time. And so far, I don't think I owe the swear jar too much. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run off and get me one of those beers and start getting ready for Whiskey and Wisdom tonight. And so thank you so much for joining. You cannot possibly know how much you are appreciated. And I will be looking forward to talking with everyone at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard over on the original Mark Z for Whiskey and Wisdom. And then so with that, I'm going to make certain that I say goodbye to Neil Brooks. Thank you so much for joining. I always appreciate my updates for North Carolina weather. And then to everyone else, see you at 8. Thanks, guys.